At 11 a.m., airport security cameras captured a man suddenly running out of the terminal in fear. He wasn't being chased. No alarms were triggered. Nobody stopped him. But within seconds, he vanished. And more than a decade later, nobody knows why. His name was Lars Mittank, a 28-year-old tourist from Germany. And what happened to him inside a Bulgarian airport became one of the internet's most disturbing unsolved mysteries. Because the deeper investigators looked into his final hours, the less his behavior made sense. In July of 2014, Lars Mittank traveled to Bulgaria with a group of friends for a vacation near the resort town of Golden Sands. At first, everything seemed normal. Photos showed him smiling, relaxed, happy. Nothing appeared unusual. But then, something happened during a night out. And according to reports, that's when everything started changing. One version of the story claims Lars got into an argument with a group of men over football. Another says he was attacked outside a bar. What's confirmed is that Lars has suffered an ear injury, severe enough that doctors warned him not to fly immediately. So while his friends returned home to Germany, Lars stayed behind alone, and that decision would become the beginning of the mystery. At first, Lars seemed calm. He checked into a cheap hotel near the airport. But over the next 24 hours, his behavior became increasingly disturbing. He began calling his mother repeatedly. And during those calls, he sounded terrified. Lars claimed mysterious people were after him. He reportedly whispered during phone calls, acted paranoid, and begged his mother to cancel his credit cards. Then, things became even stranger. According to witnesses, Lars started hiding inside elevators, avoiding windows, and refusing to stay in open areas. It was as if he genuinely believed someone nearby wanted to hurt him, but nobody around him seemed to understand why. And that raises the first terrifying question. Was Lars experiencing a psychological breakdown? Or is he actually afraid of something real? Because the next morning, everything escalated. Fast. On July 8th, 2014, Lars arrived at Varna Airport. His flight back to Germany was scheduled later that day. And at first, airport staff said he behaved relatively normal. He visited the airport doctor for a routine medical check regarding his injured ear. But inside that small office, something suddenly changed. According to reports, while sitting inside the examination room, Lars looked toward the doorway and panicked. Then he said something chilling. Seconds later, he stood up abruptly, left his belongings behind, and ran. Not walked, not hurried, ran straight out of the airport. This is the footage that made the case internationally famous. Airport cameras captured Lars sprinting through the terminal at full speed. And what disturbed investigators wasn't just the fact he ran, it was how he ran. He looks terrified, desperate, almost like someone invisible was chasing him. But when investigators reviewed the footage, they found nobody behind him. No attackers, no confrontation, nothing. Just Lars, running alone. Then, he disappears off camera. Forever. No confirmed sightings. No phone activity. No body. No evidence explaining where he went next. It was as if he vanished into thin air. Police launched massive searches around the airport area. Dogs were used. Nearby woods were examined. Abandoned buildings were searched. Nothing, no trace of Lars Mittank was ever found. And that's when the theories exploded online. Over the years, people have proposed countless explanations for Lars' disappearance. Some think the answer is psychological. Others believe something far darker happened. And every theory seems to leave behind unanswered questions. The most widely accepted theory is that Lars suffered a sudden psychotic episode. Supporters point to his paranoia, his erratic behavior, his fear of being followed, and the fact that head trauma from his earlier injury may have contributed to mental instability. Under this theory, Lars genuinely believed he was in danger, even if nobody was actually chasing him. But there's one problem. People experiencing severe psychological breaks are often eventually located, dead or alive. Yet Lars disappeared completely, without a single confirmed trace. Others believe Lars was being followed, that whatever frightened him at the airport was real. Some speculate organized criminals targeted him after the earlier altercation. Others think he witnessed something he shouldn't have, and when he fled the airport, he ran directly into danger. But investigators never uncovered evidence supporting an attack. No suspects, no surveillance showing pursuit, nothing concrete, only fear. Another possibility is tragically simple. That Lars fled into nearby wilderness while disoriented and died accidentally. Exposure, dehydration, injury. Supporters argue his body may simply never have been discovered. But again, years of searches failed to reveal any evidence. No clothing, no remains, nothing. And for many people, that's the most unsettling part of all. The Lars Mittank case spread rapidly across the internet because it feels uniquely disturbing. Not because of violence, not because of gore, but because of uncertainty. The footage captures a moment of pure human fear, without explaining what caused it. And psychologically, that terrifies people. Because when viewers watch Lars run through that airport, they instinctively ask themselves one question. What did he see that nobody else could? More than 10 years later, the disappearance of Lars Mittank remains unsolved. His family still searches for answers. Investigators still don't know why he fled. And the final footage continues to disturb millions of people online. Because no matter which theory you believe, one fact remains impossible to ignore. At 11 a.m., a man suddenly ran out of an airport in absolute fear. And then he vanished forever. If Lars Mittank is still alive somewhere, his disappearance may be one of the strangest unsolved mysteries ever captured on camera. And if he isn't, then whatever happened after those airport doors opened has remained hidden for over a decade.